Hi everyone, welcome to another free family art project. I'm Autumn, the education coordinator here for Studio 23. And today I was trying to come up with a project that would go along with some of the artwork that you saw previously in Tara's segment from artist Greg Barkholtz. And since he works so much in portrait photography, I thought it would be really fun to teach you how to do a super easy portrait or self-portrait project that actually ends up looking a lot like you. So here's my example. If you can't tell, that's supposed to be me. So this is actually a super fun and super easy project. So I'm sure you're thinking like, oh, I can't make it look realistic. I can't make it look like me. You can, because one, you're going to work from a photograph. Two, you're actually going to get your watercolor paper through a printer. So the first thing I did was I found an image that I wanted to work from. Now you could do a self-portrait like I did, or you could do a picture of mom or dad or grandma and grandpa, any kind of picture you want, right? And then what I did is I just took some watercolor paper that I had from just like an inexpensive packet. I think maybe it came from Michael's. And if it's the thin watercolor paper, you can actually stick it through your printer and print up an image. So how I did that is I took my image and I put it on, I don't even think I used Photoshop. I think I just used one of those apps where it turns your picture into a pencil drawing, and you can get those apps free on your phone. You probably already have one, right? And I just adjusted it so it's so it was just very, very light lines, right? You just want it very light lines, almost just like contour lines, right? So this is all stuff you could just do from your phone if you wanted. And then from there, like I said, I printed it out on watercolor paper. And then that was all done, and then the fun part is really just go ahead and painting it. So so then for supplies, I taped it down so it's a little easier to work with, and then I just have like some basic watercolors, couple little brushes. Now I also like to use a white watercolor to help me lighten colors, but these are, any even inexpensive watercolor pack you could get has white in it. I think I got a really cheap one from like Five Below, and it even had white in it. So you gotta look, but you don't have to spend a lot of money. Easy breezy, exactly, Al, exactly. I love it. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move the camera so you can see exactly what I'm doing down on the table. I'll take you through the steps, and oh, you also need a fine tip Sharpie. I didn't tell you that either. So, because we're gonna go over our lines, and the Sharpie will stay with watercolor, but a lot of the printer lines will go away. So make sure you have a Sharpie too. All right, let's get started. Better. All right. So as you can see, this is the one that I haven't painted yet, and all this is that watercolor paper that I've printed, and you can see how it's really just a lot of contour lines. It's very, very light. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to kind of decide what lines I want to go over with the Sharpie. So this would be the time where you have to use a little bit of your creativity and decide what lines on your face are important and what lines aren't. So I'm just going to take my fine tip Sharpie, and I'm just going to start going over some of these lines here. I suppose my neck is important, so I'll do that. And these lines are a little darker, so I'm going to make sure that they're there. And what I really like about this project, if you look at the example, is it kind of almost starts looking like a pop art project. And you could really take that and go crazy with it. You could I think you could really easily use like even arbitrary colors and really kind of make it into more like a pop art. And that would be really fun. Like I said, you could do a portrait of someone else if you wanted to. All right, let's see. I'll do just some basic lines. I won't make it too complicated. Now, if you wanted to do a bunch of lines, you absolutely could. Just know that it's going to take more time. And of course, that's not something I have when we do these videos, so I have to get it going just a little bit anyways. Let's see. And I love this project because you end up with a pretty realistic result. I mean, it might not be exact, but it'll definitely resemble you. I mean, I feel like this at least resembles me. So, I mean, I think, you know, I think when you do this technique, it takes a lot of the worry out. You don't have to be like, oh, I can't draw that, because you totally can, because like I said, you're kind of cheating, kind of not, kind of cheating, kind of not. All right. Let's see. Suppose I need some nostrils. All right, let's see. Now, when you're drawing it out, that would be the time to really take your time. Like I said, I don't have a lot of that, but we'll get there. Let's see. I suppose I need a chin too. See if I can see a line there. There we go. And I think that's good enough for now. You can get detailed with a background. I don't think it's necessary for a project like this. I think you could honestly just do a wash for a background and call it good. All right, so yeah, I think good enough. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start getting our watercolor down. So I'm gonna try and come up with a skin tone. Now for me, and your skin tone obviously will be different. I tend to be a little on the pale side, but you know, you could use just like a plate if you wanted to mix some colors, but you can make pretty much any color just with these basic Crayolas. So don't be afraid to do a project like this just because you think you don't have enough colors, because you can make a color easily. Would a black watercolor marker work as well? You know, I'm not sure, just because, you know, some of those watercolor markers, when you get them wet, they blend out, but that might be cool too. So I think maybe it's a thing where you just sometimes got to experiment and give it a go and see if it works. All right, so I'm gonna, for my skin tone, I'm gonna take a little yellow. I have a little water in here, a little orange, tiny bit of red, I think, a little brown. We'll see where that gets us. A little more water. And for me, for my skin tone, I'm gonna put a good amount of my white watercolor paint in there, because I don't think I've gotten quite enough sun this summer yet, so no tan for me yet. All right. And I'm coming up with kind of a peachy tone, which is pretty close for me. It's not gonna be exact, but like I said, that's okay, it doesn't have to be. So, and I'm gonna use this big brush because I'm just gonna start doing washes. So I'm gonna do my neck. I'm gonna try and stay within the lines, but I think for a project like this, where it's very stylized and it's not super realistic, I don't think you have to get too carried away with, you know, oh, is this within the lines? Is this not? I mean, sometimes you just gotta throw it down on the paper and see what sticks, right? Go for it. That's how I feel anyways. I feel like art is so much about experimentation. I think that's one of the things I love about it is, you know, figuring it out. All right. So I got, for me, this is my skin tone anyway. It's got some skin tone down. And then, let's see, I'll do a lip color, and I think I'll switch to my smaller brush. And this color I have here is a lot of orange, a lot of yellow, tiny bit of brown, and again some white to kind of get that fleshy tone for me anyways. And I'm just gonna go in. Now I probably could have added a little more red to this to get a little more of a fleshy tone, but so that might be something you want to mess around with the colors. All right, and then for my eyes are probably like a gray color, so I've mixed a little bit of blue, a little bit of black, a bit of white to kind of get the steel gray color, and then I'm just going to go in, same thing. All right, eye color, let's see. Let's go in and do hair now. Now, my hair is a lot of crazy colors. So we'll go in and we'll do a blonde color, a brown color, and an even darker color. But it's not hard to mix. So we're gonna go in, let's see, get another tray here. Let's see, to get a blonde color, I'm gonna add some yellow, maybe a tiny bit of orange, a little bit of brown, maybe a little more brown, and then some white. That's pretty good. Maybe a little more yellow. I think that's good enough. But like I said, doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to put some water in there. All right. So I'm going to go in, since my ends are that kind of blonde color. I'm going to start getting that down. The other thing when you're painting a picture of people is don't be afraid to use complementary colors to not only tone down the colors that you're using, you know, but kind of gray them out. If you're looking, especially if you're looking for a realistic sort of look, that will help a lot. If you kind of gray it out, you'll cut down on what they call chroma, and you will get a more realistic color that you're looking for, if that's what you're looking for. You know, if you want to paint the whole entire thing arbitrary colors and, you know, make your skin green and your hair bright purple, I mean, do that too. Do what you want. You should enjoy what you're working on, right? So, all right, so I'm going to throw some warm brown in there. All right, a little more water. And then I'm just going to take my same color but throw a little bit of black in there just to darken it up. Ooh, that's a lot. Let's try that again. There we go. All right, and go in by my roots. Put a darker color in there. Man, my secret's out. I'm not really a blonde. Can't believe I let my secret out today. All right. And I think we're getting close to being done here. And if you need to blend more, you can always grab a little water to blend your colors even more. Don't be afraid to use the water on watercolor. Your paper will dry, excuse me, it'll look great. Great likeness. Thank you, Paul, I appreciate it. Joanne says, what makes it pop art as opposed to just a watercolor painting? I think for me, it reminds me a lot of this one, and anyways, reminds me a lot of like a Roy Lichtenstein, because it's got the outline, like the contour lines, and the colors aren't especially blended. I suppose it's not like exactly traditional pop art, but I don't know, there's something about it that reminds me of pop art along those veins. I like how your face pops because of your light face and dark hair. Oh, yes. Well, thank you. I would have preferred a tan this summer, but I just don't think it's happening. But thanks. All right. I'm going to go in now, and I'm going to do my sweater, which is an olive green, and that's still really easy to make. I'm going to grab some water. Okay. I'm going to grab a little green, and I'm going to grab some brown, and I'm going to make that olive green kind of color. A little more water. And then I'm gonna go in, paint that sweater really quickly. All right. And let's see, I think my shirt was yellow, so I'm just gonna grab some straight yellow and water. I suppose I need a little more green here. Okay, and then you could do any color you want for a background. I don't know, I'm kind of digging like this purple color just for, I don't know. And maybe just because I have a lot of warm yellowy things happening in here, so maybe I'll throw some purple and some blue in there. Thank you, Al, I appreciate it. All right, get a little purple in here, a little more blue. All right, and then like you could take this even further if you wanted to. If you look at my example, I even messed around with kind of doing like contour. So I tried to even like give myself like some shadow along the sides of my nose, some blush. I mean, you could really take this as far as you want or pull back and really simplify it. Entirely up to you. Purple and green are your favorite colors. Definitely green. I think green without a doubt, especially like that olivey or avocado green is 100% my favorite green. So like I said, you could get this, you could take this as far as you want. But this is a really fun, really easy way to do a portrait or a self-portrait that is, you know, it's actually, there's a decent likeness here. So go out and give this a try with your kids. Super easy project to get supplies for. And then if you do it, of course, share it with us. We would love to see. Hashtag Studio23 on the go, hashtag Make Art Virtual. We always want to see what you're working on, and we always want to encourage everyone in the Great Lakes Bay region to be the amazing artist that we know you are. So that's it for me today, and I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next week. Up next is Val with another Greg Barkholtz inspired project. We'll see you later. Bye.